Movie Sellers, month of horrors, terrors through time. My name is Dan, and I am here to give you my pick for the 2010s. I went with a movie called Revenge that was released in 2017. It was directed by a French filmmaker named Coralie Farge, and this was her debut film. I picked this movie for a couple reasons. One was that after watching Eden Lake, which you can go watch my review of that for my 2000s pick, I was left a little disappointed because I felt like it was a revenge film that never got to the revenge. So I really, really wanted to watch a revenge horror. Additionally, Coralie Farge recently released a film that's like very, very popular right now called The Substance. And so I thought it would be interesting to go back and watch one of her earlier films. Her debut, in fact. So this movie stars a woman named Matilda Anna Ingrid Lutz. And as far as her filmography is concerned, I didn't see a ton, but I hope to see her in more films soon because she was amazing in this movie. This is a revenge horror. Picture like I Spit on Your Grave or Last House on the Left, but it's kind of flipped on its head because those films are sort of set up like exploitation films, whereas this is set up as a very feminist film. And so the differences to men might not be as noticeable, but when you really start breaking it down, you definitely can see it. Now, I'll get into the plot really quick, and before I do, I just want to mention a couple things. One, this movie was released in 2017, so I feel like it's only reasonable that I mention spoiler alerts. If you haven't seen it yet, you might want to skip over the plot summary because I will be talking about what the movie's about. And two, I also want to issue a trigger warning around sexual assault. And so, with that said, now I'm going to tell you about the plot of the movie. It's got a pretty simple plot. A young woman and her boyfriend arrive on an island via helicopter. He's clearly a very wealthy guy. You find out that he's married, he has children, that he's having an affair with her. And sounds like maybe he wants to leave his wife, but it's complicated by the children, things like that. But these two seem very in love. After they have some time together on the island, two of his friends arrive unexpectedly. She doesn't expect that they're going to be there, and she's kind of surprised by this. But he assures her, look, the plan was just for them to come after you left, and we were going to do some hunting together. So she's like, oh, that's all good. She's going to be leaving the next day anyway. So they just hang out that night. They all party together. They have a great time. She's very, very friendly to these guys, which they obviously misinterpret to mean that she's like flirting with them or into them or whatever. Not what she means. She's just trying to be nice, trying to be friendly, trying to have a good time. The next day, her boyfriend is out, and one of the men approaches her, and it turns dark. Why don't you like me? Why aren't you into me? What is it about me that's wrong with me? He pushes himself on her, and he sexually assaults her. The other guy walks into the room while this is happening, the other friend, sees it happening, and he's like eating a bag of chips. He literally just keeps eating his chips, closes the door, walks away. So she's left there after the sexual assault happens. Her boyfriend comes back. She's very upset and very angry. And he's like, oh my God, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. He then tries to pay her off to make the problem go away. And she refuses. She's very angry. He says, of course, I'm so sorry. That was so disrespectful of me. And he decides, look, I'm going to call the helicopter so that they can come get you, take you to the hospital, and I will be reaching out to the police about my friend. She's like, all right, great. So they go out to wait for the helicopter that's supposed to be coming, and instead he just pushes her off a cliff. She falls off the cliff. She gets run through by like a dead tree that's like, halfway down, and they leave her for dead. She's not dead. Now, is this plausible? Not really, but there's a lot in this movie. This is a very stylistic movie, and so you have to accept certain things, for what they are. Okay, so she is able to get down off of the tree. She's MacGyver in this thing. She's able to figure out a way to get down off the tree, able to figure out how to clean up her wound, get herself into, better shape so that she can go out and, they're hunting her now because they see that she's gone. So they're hunting her, and she's going to flip this on its head, and she's going to start killing them off one by one. This is the revenge element of the film. And she does that. It is a very bloody, gory, disgusting affair. But if you're about that, if you want to see these guys get what they deserve, then you will enjoy that. She ends up living and getting a helicopter and getting the hell out of there. Kills all of them. So that's the plot of the movie. It's pretty simple, but it's very, very well executed. Now, when I say that this is a little, like, this really kind of flips this rape revenge theme on its head, generally, historically, where it's been like an exploitation type of film, this one is more of a feminist type of film. There's a lot of elements of this that are slightly different than what you would expect. Like, for instance, she is knowingly the other woman. Now, typically in these type of films, these are pure, innocent women that, they are just treated badly when they don't deserve any of it. To be clear, she also does not deserve any of it, but she doesn't fit in that box, that sort of like puritanical box that we like to say, these are the women that deserve to be treated, well. Additionally, she is like very beautiful, and she is very open about her beauty and her sexuality, which are, again, things that we tend to like wrongly view in our society as like wrong and like deserving of being mistreated. And so the fact that she's all these things, and she is also the protagonist of the film and also the person that we are rooting for, is definitely a flip on the traditional norms of the genre. And it's a good flip, and it's an important flip. And even though it might be subtle to like someone who's not thinking about it, it is a very important change in this sort of subgenre of horror. So I really liked the movie. I thought it was very well made. I liked that element of it. I also really liked how the film was very stylistic. There were a lot of like really crazy like close up like micro shots and a lot of like cool light filtering stuff going on. And the music and the soundscape and like all this stuff, it was very stylized and very artsy and very cool from that perspective. The coloring was just like very bright and vibrant. She had these like big like pink fuchsia pinkish color, like pinkish purple. They were like these hot pink star earrings that she wore through the whole movie. And like, I just loved that no matter how much blood and gore and dirt and filth she was covered in, like these earrings just like really popped. And I'm sure there's like a metaphor there. And I think that that's really cool. I thought she acted fantastically. I thought the guys were great in it. You know, you very much wanted them to die. You very much believed that they were scumbags. And you were very happy to see them get their comeuppance. I liked that the guys kind of played different types of villainous men. Like, there was the actual person who committed the sexual assault, just the straightforward, gross pig of a man. Then there was the guy who saw it happening and just like ignored it and like shut the door. The man who's like more just because he's a passive observer and because he's not interceding and not like doing the right thing is part of the problem. And then there's the boyfriend who you think is great and he's a charmer and all this stuff, but he really views her as an object because as soon as she is no longer valuable to him, she's just gone, either paid off or killed, like whatever, no matter how like close and sweet and cute they were together earlier in the movie. Real like psychopath type energy. So I really liked that. And I really liked how they all acted those roles out. And I really liked that they had those 3 different sort of scenarios. And I love that they all died. I thought, the movie, if you asked me if the movie's scary, yes, it's scary. It's tense. It's very intense. You feel very scared for her when she's in this house with these 3 men and the tension is kind of building and you're feeling this sort of like unsettled feeling. And then there's a lot of tension throughout the movie of like, will she get them before they get her? I thought that was well executed. Now, as far as if it's a good Halloween movie, it's a weird movie because it's both fun and serious at the same time. Like, the stylistic element of it, the soundscape, the lighting, all that stuff gives it a very sort of like fun horror movie energy, but the substance of it, the content of it is very heavy, and so it may not make the best fit. It really just depends on who you are and who the audience is that's going to be watching it. Rating, I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. I thought it was really, really well done. I love a good revenge horror film, and I really loved the feminist angle on this one in a genre that's typically, very male dominated and like very puritanically sort of morals viewed, to sort of flip all that on its head and give us this. I thought it was very appropriate for, the 2010s. And it was a subgenre that really needed to be reconsidered and revamped. And I thought that Coralie Farge did a fantastic job of that. And yeah, I give this one a 7 out of 10. The visually very appealing, the sound, the music, the score, all done to perfection. Plot nice and tight, acting fantastic. So there you have it, 2017's Revenge. Come back tomorrow. We'll give you more picks for 2010s. And stay with us all month until the end. And on October 31st, we will be doing a recap show with me, Chris, and Jack all together on the podcast. So make sure you tune in for that. And until then, see you later.